Calling the dog, and I noticed that there was something moving there. There's something underneath the covers. I think I know what it is. I think it's either a black cat or a calico cat. It's a calico cat. Having fun down there? Another day of pretty much rain all day. So I think I mentioned before, I ordered the new straps, which is a requirement for putting these in. Yeah, they're coming Friday, I guess. So I decided I would open these up and see which one. By the way, there is, a few gallons of fuel in there. A couple things that were surprising. Oh, I put the hose on there because I had no hoses and it's raining, so water's getting in there. I got to turn that one down or stick this handy, rain prevention cloth in there. This one's definitely, she's empty. But what was interesting is they're different. So this is the one that came out of the truck, this truck, and then this is the one that came out of the new tank. This is broken. So, and this one doesn't have that on there, although I don't think you need that, because I think when you put it in the tank, I'm pretty sure that this distance here is such that it's not going to fall off. We're going to check on that. But this one has this thing, whereas this thing doesn't have that thing. It just has tube come down and out. So I think I'm going to clean the grit or rust off this one. This one doesn't seem to have the rust on there. Obviously, I'll keep this. This is the return line, and it just spits out fuel. I don't know what this whole thing is. And it's not electric, because the only thing here is the sensor for the gas. So it's kind of, which one do we use? So again, I'll take this one, slide this one on. I'll probably just put the hose clamp on there just because I can. Got this thing down there too. It's weird. And then this one's been taken out because it's got the I've been taken out mark, I think. Different height. Or is it? Oh, it is a different height. Or maybe it's because that was slid down up too high. I don't know. But I think I want to put the old one back with the non-broken piece. Though theoretically I could just put it back in. It's not looking at a lot of filtration here. So I'm not even sure how much this is really required. I think I will try to keep that there. That spare one, I saw $1,400 for that sending unit. And I think mine would the other one would work. Funny thing here is these are a pain in the ass to get off. And I was able to do it very easily with this wrench because the way this is for taking off an oil filter. You just crush it and go. Once I spread it, it just fit nicely in here with that little hook right there, and then it fit in here, and it allowed me to just really torque on it. And of course, because the tank's out of there, it made it a lot easier. But the other way is like to take a screwdriver and bang on it, which of course has the option of breaking the plastic, which you don't want to do. You put a nice little arrow here and an arrow here. So pretty sure I got it in the right place. I just stuck these old hoses on there just to keep water and shit from getting out of there. When I did put this in, the filler thing did hit the bottom. So I carefully removed it and then slid it up and put that hose clamp on there. So that hose clamp was definitely not needed, and it's probably why the one broke, because it was it made it too long the way it was installed. Now there are two breathers hoses. These hoses are gone, and they're like soft, and you're just, as you can see, they're not in the world's best shape. So I'm going to use some fuel line. I got the sizes of these hoses, or what they used to be. This is the one that came off this truck. These go into some weird place on the frame. I'm not quite sure why. I do have a pin out, and I have, again, the sizes. I got to go to the car parts store and buy some generic fuel line hose. Yeah. So we'll just leave those there. So next step, these pop out. I think I basically cut it in half and throw it out over a couple weeks. I mean, what am I going to do with it? It's got a big hole in it. I guess I could mold it back to get, nope, get rid of it. I got a new one. And this probably will never happen again, because I'll be watching that for the next 30 years disintegrate. Christ. It's like ink.
Another trip to the vet. She's got to get fixed on the 23rd of May. So she's got to get blood work. Blood work should be fun. She enjoys that. So, yeah. Little car ride, huh? Yeah? Excited? Where's your sister? She's at home.
It weighs 10.2 ounces, so I think it's gained 2 ounces the last 2 weeks. She is definitely not into this. They're just gonna drain you. I know what you're thinking. I wonder how thick that gas tank is. Well, it's about 1/4 inch thick. It's some pretty thick plastic. Not so thick right there. Saws nicely. Recommended carbide bit. This could become a planter. Some decent hoses in there. Yeah, well, it's all set in the trash the next week. My data center is smarter than I. It has AI, because it's that time. It's telling me at 3:30 this afternoon we will have an alarm. No issue with that. I'll plan for that. I can put that in my calendar. 3:30. Fix it. There's a slight chance of rain tomorrow in the afternoon. But what I can do is I can, one, everything should be fine by then. Two, I can lay a tarp over this area. I just need to keep the water up there. Got to clean out that sconge. I don't know what I'm going to do. Probably use a shop vac, of all things. Left the pump running all day, but the water has to get to the pump. But yeah, my goal is to fill that in. So that bottom block there is cemented in, and this corner block here is cemented in. So if I just get this, and then I'm going to leave a block free because I'm going to be putting in a drain at some point. So just need to get those. So we're going to get on that right now while we can. The tank straps might be here tomorrow. That'd be nice. So what do I got to do to make this roadworthy? Well, you might notice I have a few tires, so I need to get the tires mounted. I need to adjust the toe on this, but that's not what's causing the tire wear. I think it's the springs are worn, so it's coming in or out or one of those directions. But it'd be nice to get this off the grass. Although it's been nice not having to move the car every morning, because don't need to. That needs to go. I'm getting pissed at my daughter about that. I need the title from her. Or she needs to go get another title. I did talk to the neighbor about removing a little bit of the pile here. I don't know if you can see, it's I don't need all of that. So he's aware of that. I told him about 6 more wheel buckets, meaning probably 20. He laughed when I said 6. He's like, you mean like more? I'm like, no, 6 should do it. So 20 should do it as well. So yeah, it's a nice day out. It hasn't rained. That makes it a nice day. Sure hope that tree's alive. Yeah, it just hasn't budded yet. I guess there's some buds coming out there. That'd be nice. Well, nothing to it but to get to it. Yeah. That's got nice and clean in the rain. Alan gets it. The other one's inside. Go upstairs, Moxie. Yay, got. I guess I should have used a better container for this. It's got clumps in it. It's got moist. Just got to get that and that. Trying to keep as level as possible, but this is lower than this, so I'm level but not level because I don't want to step up. But here's a government job. I got 1 worker and 2 supervisors. Finally, she figured it out. A lot more fun up there, isn't it, puppies? That's 4 feet, 4 feet, 4 months. So we're gonna call it a night, start some dinner, and hopefully tomorrow, the next day, we can start fill that area up. I'm gonna have to cut the block a little, figure out what I'm gonna do over there. But oh yes, tomorrow I can put dirt in. So the dirt will also help protect from the rain and help protect the motor from getting washed out if there was a big rain. Remind me to put a tarp on that tonight though. They're up. I'm going to the post office. It's 7 o'clock and it's 50 degrees out, so I'm going to mortar those 2 in, the 2 on top, and then maybe there's time we'll figure this out, but we'll at least get into here. This mortar is still a little soft. I hope it dries okay. So we're going to not touch this. We're going to let that sit. We'll get at least there. And you can see I gotta trim something or do something here. I'm not quite sure what I'm gonna do. I think for the second level I'll be fine. But that first block I'm gonna have to trim off like from here to here. So that'll be fun. Okay, well, it is cold out, but I'll be warm shortly. I was gonna mortar that one, and then I realized I gotta make a hole. I'll have to make a hole in there too. I'm gonna let that set. So I'm getting there. Those 2 are mortared in. So when I got to make some holes, establish my slope, then get this one in and start rocking this row. I think I want to get to about here, the next one. So just get those, well, that one too. I don't think that one's, I think that's cut, but not ready. Not sure. Anywho, want to just get this done. I'm going to let this dry out for another day or 2 and then put dirt in. And my goal is by Sunday to have another platform there and maybe even over here and move these things back. It'd be fun to put some propane onto this and, you know, get this to work. I've never used it, but I think I got all the parts. You want up there? Come here. Oh, the straps came today. They don't fit. There were no reviews on it. I probably shouldn't have bought it. So I'm sending them back. And I got new ones that theoretically are supposed to be here tomorrow. I double checked the part number 3 times. 158 wheelbase, diesel tank, 38 gallons. I can't read the part number off the old straps, but I can tell you they weren't the right straps. So, crop of dandelions in here. Fine crop. Guess they planted some trees. Okay. And the Moron twins are at it. She's definitely the instigator, the new one. Little Cooper. Happy dogs. Cold when the heated seat back in your seat feels so good because it's a different feeling other than soreness and pain that you prefer sweating in your back because it just feels different. That's my life. Classic estate sales. They got records and stereo equipment and cables. And so I found 2 CDs, telex of course, they don't have. But look at this. This is back in the day when I was growing up. Just figured to change the audio. That's a nice CD player. Oh, an old Gerard. This is actually fairly high quality, even though it's belt driven. Or not belt driven, it's idler wheel. So there's a rubber wheel in here that spins. But it's got a removable thing and adjustable skating and weight. And you can stack your records on there. Real wood. What kind of speakers we got? Those look like Advents. They are Advents. That's why they look like Advents. KLH, man, those are the 60s. Weird shit. Speakers in the 50s were huge, and then they came out these little bookshelf speakers that sounded good because they were sealed. Seeing these speakers I really like. Jensen's. These are fairly decent. Pedestrian, but decent. Good old CD copier or cassette copier, not a CD copier. Definitely some 80s and 90s equipment. Jeez, I can't even look at that. Just walk on by. Most of this is country. Which has limited value to me. Decent speaker wire. So, anyhow, keep looking. Well, I stopped at some eclectic yard sales. There was like a community in Solon of yard sales. So this is most of the haul. I also got some dog wee pads or whatever you call them. So I just bought out the entire stock of this. This is cute. I think when you open this up, you can put your name of the dog in there. But this might be handy for those that like to pull on stuff. I think this goes down below, or I don't know. Then I got another one. It's only about $3 for everything. So we got this heavy duty for the big dog. You never know when you got a big dog need. And then I don't know what that is. Oh, bags for poop. Then I got this. She says a condiment, like you could put mustard in there. It looked pretty. That's going to be a Mother's Day present, so we'll put that over there. Speaking of which, I got this really cool antique-like glass, hand blown. It looks like you put a nail on the wall, on a post, and instant glass pot. So I thought that was really cool. So hopefully she will too. And again, I think it's hand done. It's got like a little leaf at the top there. Enhance. That's a nice detail. Enhance. So anyhow, hide those with my wall. 2 Telex CDs we'll probably never listen to. This is selections, highlights. I have the 2 CD version and Roundup 2. So, orchestrated versions of country music. Then the President's of the United States, which I thought I would recognize 1 or 2 songs. Apparently I don't, so that's great. This is just a hot silicone hot pad, but because it's got a little insulation in there, when you grab something, it doesn't burn your hand as well. Turns out the silicone actually transfers heat. This is an old record. It's George Sells, so that puts it in the 60s, maybe in the 50s. He was one of the original conductors of the Cleveland Orchestra. It's magnificent, so that's good. So he was known as a professional, perfectionist, which I think is a code word for asshole. Not sure. Probably already have this one, but you got to get it. Got to have it. It was only $1. An unwatched version of Breakfast at Tiffany's. $1. Then I got this, probably take to work. It's a USB-C hub that has different ports, or maybe I'll keep it for remote use. So you plug that baby into your laptop, and then you plug your power into here, into there, and then you got a USB-C and HDMI video out, 2 USBs, and some memory slots. So you can be using it on a Mac or a PC, anything with a USB-C or a Thunderbolt. So it was $2. Hands this handy cloth there. So yeah, I think I spent like $15. Then the straps came for this today. So we're gonna do an unboxing, more so than to make sure that the new ones and the old ones are the same size, unlike what we got before. I did buy some hose. I was tried to buy 3/8 and 7/16. Well, they don't make 7/16 much, so I think that's this size. So we're gonna see what happens. I just bought a bunch of 3/8, and this has couplers, and I don't know why. So it's supposed to be 3/8 on the small size. Maybe it'll fit on the big side. I don't know, but this one you can, yeah. So I kind of have drawings of the way these vents go. So these attached onto there, like these ends go on there, and then the long end goes to the frame. We're gonna be learning a lot when we go underneath there and look. But let's unbox these new straps. I don't know why well, maybe it's because of the cheaper ones I bought with the wrong ones. Those took 6 days to get here, and these came the next day. So you do the math. Well, I did checked the part number 3 times before I bought these, but these definitely have the right hinge at the ends. The other one yesterday didn't. It's got the same flange. Everything looks the same. I had to bend this one back. You can kind of tell there was a crease there. This one is bent probably when the tank went down. It bent that, but yeah, these look, you know, about as close as I'm going to get with what I got. So that looks like a success. So let's see, what are the steps? Jack up the rear end on unstable ground. Check. I got to throw the plastic fiberglass thing underneath. I got to drag the tank underneath. I got to figure out the hosilators. I'm going to use for now these hoses. I think I found one for $30, but I'm not exactly sure. Skidding to these is a little awkward when it's all the way up. And then I gotta figure out, I think you mount one of the straps on first. One side's exposed. I think the side that way is exposed on the middle, and then not over here. I don't remember. I didn't have to really undo much. Then I gotta hook these things on. So, okay, well, first I gotta deal with them dogs, but yeah. So these went in here, kind of like, you know, so actually I think it was this one first and this one. I think this one's all tight. So what are these? These are vents for when you're fueling between the sections. I don't know why. I don't know, because you got this vent here. And then I don't know if this is a valve, like a one-way valve. I don't want to touch it for some odd reason as he touches it. So let's take this off and blow at it. Yeah, let's wash it. And yeah, that's my goal this evening. Maybe, I don't know. I think I got 4 days, 3 days that I can put. It's gonna weigh on Wednesday. So I got 3 days I can work on this. I'm gonna let it well, let's check this. Okay, that's hard. That's hard. This was not that hard over here when I checked it yesterday. It's still a little soft. I think I put too much water there. So maybe if we got daylight still, we'll dump some dirt there. I got to put a piece of cardboard or wood down here because I don't want to get the dirt into here. That's going to have rebar and cement in it later. I just want to get the dirt into here. But man, definitely can put plywood down today if I wanted to, and hopefully I think that will fit on plywood and put the blocks down. She's getting there. Then the next step again is to drill the drain here, figure this out. I think I want a 2-inch hole and then sleeve it with PVC, then put a 1-inch drain through. I haven't quite figured out what I want to do. Then I realized, man, if I could get like just this block and this block down here and tie these in, I can fill this freaking hole here. This will give me a better gauge of how much dirt I need. I really want this gone. This really bothers me. But yeah, so nothing to it but to do it. Advance Auto only had the exact same size. I couldn't get at Napa that the guy tried to convince me was a weird size. It was 7/16. So I have the hose I needed. So I thought I would just kind of, you know, saunder on down here, and you know, there should be hoses on the other side, so I get an idea of how long they should be. That's not a very sharp knife. Well, yeah, like I said before, you don't want to look underneath here. You don't know what you're good about. First of all, I found a brake line that wasn't connected to anything, all rusted. So apparently at some point they replaced the brake line and left the old one in there. This was attached to here, and no, this is attached up front. This is attached to here. So this metal line here is, of course, got an air gap here. So I don't know why they use stainless steel for the diesel lines to the engine, but they used steel in the back for the vent, and it has degraded. Now, but looking at this, this goes to the back vent, this goes to the front vent. Maybe I just need a hose between the two, so we're going to get rid of this altogether. We'll keep like this. I don't know why. No, we're not. But there's a vent in the middle. So, and then he uses a smaller hose in between, but the bigger hose in between, the 7.3-16. So all I'm going to do is replicate that. Just go direct, and I'm going to loop it, make sure it doesn't get smashed. But, you know, there's distance underneath here. Maybe we'll even just tape it on there. I don't know. So this vent here, this vent here, and I just need to go from there to there. And that angle you saw was because for whatever reason they decided to angle that way. I don't know, maybe because of the splashing. We go, I don't know. The debris you're seeing is from the fire. She's a wet wood. Requires a little extra blowing with the, you know, the leaf blower, because that's how you keep a fire going and how you start it. That blows the ashes everywhere. So yeah, that's my plan. That'll be a lot simpler. Simpler because then I'm not attaching anything to the body. The only thing I need to attach to the body is I need to attach this at the top, this at the top to the filler and whatnot. Then these come off and I just click, click, and click. So I do that right before I put in there. In fact, there's probably enough room to click these into place whilst the tank is in and hanging. So yeah, we'll go ahead and fabricate it, cut some rubber and slide them on. And then I got to figure out where the straps go. So I think the tank goes in between the frame rail. So ironically, the outside one is the one I want to bolt in first, and then slide the tank in, and then go around, and then I hit with the flipper things. I think it goes like this. So it hangs down off the frame rail, and then I put it back up, and that's kind of where that tire is. The same thing over here. That way you got room to swing things. And then there's lots of open space in here relative to that. There's the muffler on the other side. There's a drive shaft. So, I mean, it's all relative. You can see it. You just got to use a lug extension. So, and I think I got to double check this, yeah, this one goes in the front, this one goes in the back. So we're going to go check some drawings, but definitely no need for this. We're doing weight reduction. That's what we're doing, weight reduction. And we got a little fire going. Obviously, I'm not doing that tonight. About this vent hose all night. I did some Google searches, so I found some information. Yes, people just tied the two together. These are little vents, but right now my problem is this hose fitting here and this hose are supposed to be the same hose. Well, you can kind of tell they're not the same size. So, and then to make matters worse, this thing's really short and it's only this far. There's a little plastic piece in there. I don't want to break the plastic piece because that keeps this from breaking. So when you put the hose on, hey, there's not a lot of room to get it in there. And two, it's too big. So it turns out that this little hose fits inside there, but then it's too big. So I'm gonna drill this out, make it a little bit bigger, jam it into there, slide this over that, put a big hose clamp on there and call it a day. The other amusing thing is, this is the original fuel sender for this truck. The other one looks similar, but was different. It had been modified to improve the performance of the pump. And what I mean is, on these diesel trucks, they pump more diesel fuel than they will ever need. So what that does is it keeps the moving and it warms the diesel fuel up. So if your diesel's cold, like in the 20s, your diesel can gel. So this is actually designed to move a lot more water. Moving water doesn't gel. However, there's a filter on the return, not the send, not the succulate, which we saw last week was big. It's on the return, and it's inside that plastic thing. One, that gets clogged. Then when it doesn't flow properly, things are bad. Two, it creates air bubbles. And the pickup's here, the return's here. So what they recommend is just take that whole thing off and then put a long hose on and have the return like be over here, a long pipe, and then the pickup over here, so the bubbles go over here, not over there. And they actually, I've seen videos where they demonstrate the truck runs quieter because air bubbles are horrible for a diesel because of the ejectors. You expect a certain amount of pressure, which is water-based, and now it's air, which is zero. So anyhow, I think I'm gonna pop this off and put the other one in, since it's already been modified. Okay, so got to drill these out and get this. But first I got to get this vent thing fixed. Most people just did exactly what I was planning to do. You just flip it around here and loop it around here. And even on the originals, they have the vent sideways and stuff. It's real, as long as it's above this, you're fine. And then the other thing, there's a modification, is this filler hose, it goes in about 5 inches. So the actual line of the tank when it's full is like here. And one of the mods they do is they cut that off, so when you're filling it up, it goes up higher. So maybe here. I'm gonna leave it the way it is because that gives me less chance for diesel fuel to spill out of the vents. And then there's some weird valve on that, if I remember correctly. Unfortunately, I can't show you because I cut the tank up into little pieces and put it in that little container there for the EPA approved discharge. Hey, what are you guys doing? Be quiet. Making a video. So this is the original. The only difference is I took this feeder that goes on there that came on the old new one and put on here because the other one was broken. So the way this works is the fuel comes down, the return line comes down here, wraps around over to there, comes into this filter, comes out, and then spills out of here. And this little flapper opens. I don't know why they have that on there. If you look at this one, which has the same part number, but it's clearly different. I mean, you can see how they don't have this third pedestal. They don't have this bracket here, which makes it sturdier. Don't think it matters. It doesn't have this filter at all. And notice how this actually attaches over here. So I guess this is really this. But even then, if I rotate this to the way that one is, it's still, maybe it is. No, see, the angle is completely different. This pipe's pointing this way, this one's pointing this way. There's tabs where it locates on onto the cap, these little tabs, which I need to remember because I don't think I was cognizant of that. So they're definitely different. Anyhow, long story short, I can put this back on here. It's shooting this down and away, and this is picking up from here. The only modification that they recommend is extending the pipe out. I'm gonna go look at cursory for fittings, but I need a fitting that's 3/8 on one side and then this side on the other side. I don't think I'm gonna find it. If I do, I'll go ahead and cut off a foot of this and use this. This is old brake line I got out of the trash. Then swap this over. If not, I'm gonna swap this over. The other thing is going back and forth on, this is what reads the tank, and it's nice to know when you got diesel in your tank and not. But looking at these, this one looks newer, even though they're the same age, the trucks, and it's got less corrosion. So I could swap this onto there, but I think this one's probably better. So I'm gonna leave it there. So I'm just gonna take this off, put this on here, make sure it's the same height, and go see if I have fitting. If I have a fitting, extend this. If I don't have a fitting, fuck it, I'm done. I think this is a better design. It gets rid of the filter, which can cause problems backfill, and it shoots it away. Although this would shoot it away too, but this shoots it more away. I don't know. All right. Hopefully we have found in the basement. One a little tiny guy that I might need. Lots of fittings. Whether or not any of them are gonna work, well, I don't know, but we're gonna give it a go. As she returns, passed. I swapped this over. I can't find a single compression fitting in this bag. All sorts of fittings, none of them are compression. So I got this shooting that way, this pickup this way. I think if this gets jammed, which I think would be odd, there's like a relief valve here to allow more diesel to go that. I don't know. I'm gonna pop this one in there. Remember those. And I hope that this fuel sender or fuel level gauge works. I'm not gonna spend the rest of the day looking for parts. So those are your locator tabs. So they're up there. So we'll just pop that in there. Then we're gonna put this back down, and then we're gonna go get the rubber gasket that we just forgot that is attached to here that goes inside the tank. So we'll just redo all that, and then we got to get this thing. These for this. Oh well. So I read online that instead of using jacks, use a ratchet strap. And I'm beginning to like that idea because ratchet strap's not gonna fall out, and yeah, most of it's just not going to fall out. And because there's liquid in there, it's heavy, it moves the liquid. So, you know, you can move it and jack one side up, the liquid shifts the other, then it slips off the jack. So I do think, however, I'm going to put a jack in down there just temporarily and then put the ratchet strap. The problem with the ratchet strap is it doesn't have enough spooling. Like, I'm at the max right there, so I'm going to have to undo it, reset it, and then redo it. So we'll put something in there. I did get that stupid shield on the other side in there. It goes between the drive shaft and the frame rail and the gas tank, and I had to pull the gas tank back out, slide it in, and put it all in at once. Hindsight, I probably should just drained all the fuel, but I don't have a diesel tank, like a portable tank, and I might, yeah, anyhow. Okay, well, ratchet strap is definitely the way to go here. Nice of you to join me. So these are where the vent and the filler go in. A normal person will replace these. They're getting a little old. So you gotta put the pipages over here and slide them on. That's my sensor for the fuel, which I think goes someplace. There's a fitting over here. What was I showing you down here? That's the brake, parking brake. Don't use that. It's just my bed rusting away completely. That's my dog that won't get underneath here. Oh, I remember. So this is a little awkward. This guy fits in here. Yeah. So, and then there's a bolt that goes from up here. Similar to this one, except this is in the way. So I got to really jack this up before I can even slide the bracket in, because, you know, how are you going to put the bracket in? Because the hanger's right through the middle of the tank. So, yeah, that's good. We'll get right on that. Remember to plug that in. So, and this will just kind of like hang out up here. I can kind of see why they did the metal lines. And of course, they didn't expect this truck to last 20 years. Always rust proof it. Keeps the water in. And there's the strap location, the bolt location for the other side of the strap. So I got my thing here. I couldn't find any good place to hang this on, so I'm just gonna hang it on this thing. This looks sturdy. Now this is rusting away. Good news, bad news. Good news is it's in. But the only way I got it in was not to install that. So now that I know that the straps will work and I can physically get into place, I think what I'm gonna do is two things. One, I took the tires out that were leaking water, which is leaking into there, which is leaking out of me. Two, I gotta go in an errand or two. And when I get back, I think I'm gonna leave my car out and I'm gonna put it here. And then I'm gonna do it over there, because then I can get a little bit higher and it's a little easier to work on. Maybe it'll stop dripping by then. I don't know. Because right now I got a puddle. Then put straps underneath the tank where it is in place. Before I remove the straps, because the straps, you know, it goes straps, then cover, then tank. Then put that back up. Get the straps on loosely, then try to remove the other straps. Also have a problem that my hoses they're not fitting right. I think I need to twist the ones at the top. For some reason I was thinking went up when it actually comes like down. So I think I got to rotate the hoses to get them, because they're supposed to be like this much and then there's this much. I mean, it would technically work. I leave the dogs in the house because they're just irritating me. The little one barks at everybody, barks at the neighbor, barks at me. Then the big one is going underneath the truck, which is precariously perched. Another reason to get it over here. It's just a little less precariously perched. Left my coffee in some private drive. I just did my pickup here, my stuff. It's like a beach house. That is the garage. Need an anchor? No. Never been back here. Gazebo. It's a house. I mean, there's like no houses back here. I don't see where the houses are. There's houses up front. It's weird. Like an enclave of rich people. See a house way over there. There's a gate. It was the weirdest thing. It said like there's a road, but then I like pull up. It's like it's not really a road. Maybe there's a house down there. Gas line. too. What are those? Oh, turkeys. We got a house up front. Weird. Anyhow, I got a whole bunch of stuff really cheap. It was $27 with tax. So, yeah. So this is my auction stuff. I bid $25. I ended up paying $27.50. Got a pair of cheap cutters. Battery, which is pretty much the principal reason for this. Didn't need the charger, so I'm going to be donating the charger here. I don't know why they included this Makita 9-volt charger. I did nothing for this, so we'll donate that. This one, ironically, is an 18-volt. This uses the same batteries I have for my other devices. A little floodlight. It uses a regular light bulb. Interesting. So I might donate that as well. I like this buffer. Never had one like that for buffing the car out. I thought this was going to be a good bonus, but it has a defect. It's a Makita. It's a nice belt sander, but it looks like somebody belt sanded it to the side. I think the belt went through and wore out. They just had it grinding up against the side too much. You're supposed to have it more like over here, not over here. You see it over there? So we're going to plug that in and see how she still works. She might not be with us. This will keep. This is a powerful hammer drill, Milwaukee, heavy duty. So you flip into hammer mode or drill mode. Always keep these. These are nice. I have a non-hammer drill version of this. So keep that out of there. The drill, I'm going to offer to Dave. If he wants it, he can have it. I really don't need it. It's a big drill, but I have several of those already. I think it takes a handle. Yeah, it takes handles. I have the handles. I have a spare handle I can put on there. And then this one's got me a little confused. The quick fix. It's supposed to have different tips. From what I can tell, it's like a hot glue gun. And it has like a hot glue, but it's a weird shape. So we'll probably be donating this, but I will Google it. Maybe I can, I don't know what it is. I do like the design. It's got like a nice little kickstand on it. And I like the trigger. I don't know what this is. So it's a nice heat gun, but I think it is, at the end of the day, just a glue gun. So we'll Google on that. Keep this. So all the things are keeping the battery. Batteries are 5. I think they're about $99 when they're on sale. So we'll go. This one still has lights. So that's a pretty good indication it works. So that was your $25 reason for buying this. The other things we'll just pretty much donate. And there we go. So that was fun. There was an estate sale, but you had to ride in a shuttle. I just wasn't enthusiastic about leaving my car. I had to take the dog with me on the shuttle because I can't leave her in the car. And I thought it was just going to be an estate sale. You park in the street, you walk in, you walk out, and they let me bring my doggy in. But then you got to wait for the shuttle and all this crap. We did a couple ones a couple months ago, Joe and I, and that was just a pain waiting. Of course, it was raining that day. That didn't help either. So, yeah, $25. I got one in. Just because I couldn't get the original one to fit, I got the new one that came with this tank. Same difference. I think the secret, well, then I tried to hook some straps up above to the straps and try to pull them up. That didn't work. I tried jacking it like that. That didn't work. What did work was taking a big ass screwdriver, jamming it in the hole in the bracket, and then forcing it up there, bending this into place. Then I had to put this in there to temporarily hold it so that I could get the fucking thing, the bolt to line up. Then taking the bolt and then wrenching up with it. It's got a tip on there for this, and then jamming it in there and screwing it in there. So we got one. So maybe we can get the other one. This one I'm doing it to the other side because of the way, there's no way I can get into there. That's just not gonna, the bends are wrong. I know this is needed, but man, is it a pain. Welcome back. So that's the socket and ants location. I need to get this in, and it needs to go through that strap. You can see I got a little distance there between the two. So we do the right thing, and I'll show you in a second. We got
a 2x4 with a hole in it, so I can put that socket in there, or that extension, put the bolt in with the socket, and then just, you know, crank it up till it touches, which you can see it's not exactly touching yet. So we'll just take our handy dandy, you know, oh there, let's get closer. Jack, it's pushing the 2x4, and it's probably gonna go flying because of the way it is, but you get the basic idea. Will it work? Maybe. Do I have any better ideas? No. I think I need to bend this out. I've been hit with the hammer. Gonna flatten that, just gonna give a little more. Maybe not, I don't know. Really enjoying this. Let's have the truck out of the yard. So, I need to use the grill, so I didn't put dirt in there yet. I just kind of tossed the block up there and put the platform on there. And I definitely don't like the grill that side. It definitely needs to be over here. You can't access the side and stuff. But anyhow, that's not ready yet. As we talked before, I put my drainage holes in. So I found a 2.5-inch concrete boring bit and my SDS Plus drill, which is a Harbor Freight Special. I think I bought that at a garage sale. It's a big beast. Unfortunately, it doesn't have a pilot hole. So a pilot drill bit. So yeah. So what I did is I took a hole saw and drilled a hole in here. That was fun because this didn't have a pilot either, even though it could have, but I was too lazy to go get one. So then I clamped this down and then drilled that. Looks something like that. So it looks like it broke through near the end. But yeah, I guess I should set it on spin nut brake. There we go. So we'll go ahead and do the other side. So this block will go down there. So it's going to be at least 4 or 5 inches below the bottom, no, from the top. And then there'll be another 4 inches because dirt level will be right where the plywood is. I got to shoot it down to approximately here. So I don't want to be too low. I want to keep my depth, but this should work well. I haven't quite figured out yet what I'm doing over here. Well, I know what I want to do. I need to put in a drain, but I think I'm going to use some 4-inch flexible pipe and just kind of damp it down, and then put a drain there and tie it into here. Then I want to put a drain here because sometimes this gets wet. Yeah, okay, so once I get that one done, then I'm going to put the brick block in here and then shoot the hole through that guy right there, and we'll be done. I hope. So I make it a little bit bigger than I need to. Usually the drain is 1.5 inches for kitchen sinks, but so 2 inch gives me extra. Because I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to sleeve it with PVC, so I come down and give it something to ride in, so it isn't against the concrete. $3, so I thought I'd grab another one. It didn't go as well. It broke the whole thing. I wasn't even pushing on it. I was just letting it drill. Apparently, it's hammer or turn and drill. So I put it back to that because the hammer was just hammering. Yeah. That's why they say don't put your car on top of a cinder block. This would be the reason why. I got the second hole done. I used those broken blocks and I made those 2 patch pieces. If you remember, I decided to make it a little bit wider there. So I'm gonna go ahead and mix up a batch of mortar, and want to get this block, these patches all installed. I'm gonna throw a piece of wood in there and dump dirt behind it after I glob it on there. Then yeah, I'll call it a day. That'll get me to there. And at that point, I'm gonna mess with some dirt. Just kinda, I'm interested in finding the drain. So yeah, my drains are right here. It should be right there, but it is covered up. So it'd be nice to have that back there. And then I'll use that dirt to start filling this in. I'm not ready to, but I probably ought to find out where this drain is. After looking at this, I think what I'm going to do, I'm definitely going to put a drain in here. But I think I'm going to put my block for, well, that's the house. I guess it needs to be over here. I am going to put it right here. And kind of snake the drain around. I don't know what I'm going to do. But yeah, I forgot that the house extends over there. So the drain's going to be over here. I don't want the house. So the enclosure is going to be like a foot back because the roof line is going to be right where the end of the gutter is and then a foot back. So it's going to be right around here then. Anyhow, I was originally thinking that I would just put like the beam on top of the block, but I'm now thinking that that's not what I want to do. I want to extend it back a little bit so that the overhangs stay back here, but the post is right about where my foot is. Yeah, the toenail's going to fall off soon. And then I want to cut over here. Why do I care about all this? Well, I'm the guy that has the barn beams. I'm trying to give him a list of what I need so that he can make a pile of what I need versus getting what he has and trying to make that work. So I've got the basic outline of what I need, but I need to finalize the dimensions. Obviously, I add a foot on there, so if there's rotten ends and stuff, we can cut it off. But I think once the groundwork's done, I want to build the pavilion and then do the actual kitchen. So that's my thought. I don't know. She's finally calmed down. They're both tied up. Mortared up to there. I was going to do the next block, but I ran out of mortar. But more importantly, I got to shave that one down. And but this is, it goes out a little bit there, but we'll level it on the next layer. Next layer being the flat block. But she's there. So hole. So again, that's for the nose. Little dog seems to have an aggression issue. And we're going around the back 40. Come around the corner. Going for another loop. And the corner. Trying to avoid poor Spike. Oh, we got some trees. Oh, we got some auditory feedback. Oh, she's tired or just cranky? Is that it?